If you go back 8 years, like you said, I mean, we really didn't have a lot of the data we need to build good risk and science-based food safety programs. But I really think that's where organizations like the Center for Produce Safety and the involvement that PMA and others have had in that, to fund research on food safety, and then take that research and reduce it into things that are understandable, pieces that can be used by people along the supply chain to make food safe. I think that's what's really changed over time, and help people, give them the data they need to build their individual operational food safety programs. One of the things about when you have to do a recall or an outbreak, the tragedy is only accentuated if you don't learn from it. And I think the industry has paid attention to that. I think the buying community has played a big role in that, in augmenting some of their expectations to make sure that some of the suppliers have good food safety programs in place. And so I think, in a lot of ways, what FSMA is really kind of setting the baseline to make sure that everybody gets to some kind of common understanding of what food safety is. But around the industry, there are a number of programs that, LGMA is a great one, that actually exceeds what's being asked for by the government. And I think with the onset of new technologies, we're going to see that kind of exceedance continue on throughout the course of the next few years. People in the industry have certainly gone to greater lengths to make sure that they can trace their product. And there are a number of different tools and avenues for doing that. Certainly the Produce Traceability Initiative has been part of that. But just looking at your own internal operations and making sure that you have good tracking systems for raw product coming in, raw product going out, just our normal, daily business forms and things we use are now kind of more geared to the way we need to be able to do traceability. We talk about it a lot as being part of your corporate culture. That having a good food safety program is the same as making sure that you have a good payroll system. It's just part of what you've got to be able to do. And again, I think it is the combination of some of the regulatory changes we've seen. It's a combination of some of the pressures and some of the requirements of buyers. And I think it's also a realization in a lot of the companies in our industry that this is serious stuff. I mean, it absolutely is important in order to maintain the sustainability of your company, is to have a good food safety program. It's not a matter of talking about, I do a food safety audit or I do a test. It's really a matter of, why do you do that? How are you doing it? How are you educating your employees to understand how important that is? Notice I said educate and not train. Make that they understand why they're doing what they're doing. Why are you doing the tests you're doing, and what is that protecting again? I think all of those things is kind of going to another level. We used to do those things because they were required. And I think what we're beginning to see today is we're doing those things because we know that it matters to our businesses, our employees, customers, and ultimately consumers. And in so doing, we have to have the right people in place, we have to have the right technologies in place to allow us to execute it every day. We're all consumers as well as in the industry as producers and buyers and sellers, and so if you become ill because you ate something, it is a very personal thing. But it is something that is we can do a better job of managing risks. We've learned that we can do that. Science and technology will give us greater direction in the future, what we can even do better than what we know today and what we understand today. And this is a journey. It's not a simple destination point, and so this will be a process of continual improvement, continual learning. And that's why the research and places, the research funding and things that we see going to places like the USDA and the universities around the world now, and of course the Center for Produce Safety, to give us the basic science that we need to have, so that it's just not the loudest voice in the room sets what we're going to do, but actually we can use data to set meaningful policies, meaningful procedures and requirements going forward. I think everybody in the industry can stand behind that.